for the rest of the evening.
Megan Van Berkom, who's in lane 5, is probably the top competitor, at least historically. She was 6th last year at the NCAA meet, a runner-up in this conference championship last year after winning the 400 IM final 2 years ago. Catherine Ackerman from Michigan has been in this final now for a 4th straight year. She's terrific and in lane 6. How about Krista Marlin in lane 7 for Ohio State, a sophomore who qualified this morning, 4:11.62. Her PR was actually back in November, 4:09.82, and prior to this competition, she had the top time in the Big Ten in this event during the season. Swimming next to her, her senior teammate, Kira Sommerstad, who was 3rd a year ago, has swum at least 4:11 flat this year. So this should be a good race. Freed, Van Berkom, Ackerman, Marlin, Dunn, Eden, Rankin, and Sommerstad. It's Van Berkom in first place at the first touch.
And as we're talking about Freed, you know, with that awesome trajectory that she's had over the last 4 years, let's put something else in perspective. So not only did she take 2 seconds off her best time this morning, she took 2 seconds off just a couple months ago. So she's now taken 4 seconds off just in the span of a couple months.
A meteoric rise. Anna Freed certainly looks like she is at her best this time of year.
And we talk about sticking to your race strategy. It's very easy sometimes to get caught up in the moment, especially in finals, where if somebody goes out maybe a little bit quicker than you're used to and you're going out with them, or maybe someone holds back a little bit more than you're traditionally used to, that can make a huge impact in a race like the 4 IM, because again, we talked about how each section of it is so different. It's different than, like, let's say a 500 freestyle, similar in length, but you're using the same muscle groups, you have the same strategy and the same breathing pattern the entire way throughout. These girls have to change every 4 lengths of the pool and be able to stay on with the strategy for each stroke.
Van Berkom was the first to touch last. And Sommerstad, Freed, and Ackerman in that order. Things are certainly tightening up a little bit here through the backstroke.
And Van Berkom, she did go a 4:04 back at one of their fall meets in November, so certainly from 4:10 this morning, she has a lot more that she can give. Is she able to bring that here to Big Tens? Is that something maybe she has in the tank for NCAAs?
You mentioned your former teammate, Alyssa Vavra at Indiana, the Big Ten championship meet record holder, 4:01.41. It's one of the oldest records currently in the Big Ten. It hasn't been broken now in a dozen years.
No, and I remember that race vividly. I mean, she was quite literally almost 2 lengths of the pool ahead of some of the folks in that same A final. So, I mean, it is one of those races where even at NCAAs, it tends to look like a pyramid across the pool where you have somebody who's really far out in front. I mean, the depth in this is really an event where if you can get in there, the depth, I think there's the biggest room for improvement in the 4 IM. It's the one that we see the biggest difference.
35.06, the last split for Van Berkom. She's still in first place. In fact, she lengthened the lead a little bit over Ackerman, who's in second. Third place right now up in lane 8. It's Kira Sommerstad from Ohio State.
Minnesota traditionally a very strong breaststroke program, so that works to her advantage certainly on the 4 IM here, when we know the breaststroke can pose the biggest issue for some of these athletes.
The Buckeyes have won 4 consecutive gold medals in the last 4 events that have been held during this conference championship. Indiana has a relay win, Michigan has a 500 freestyle win, and Wisconsin won the 200 IM. Can Minnesota pick up its first gold medal? We'll see if Van Berkom can do it. She's got Ackerman close by her in lane 6. Good competition from Dunn in lane 3 as well for the Badgers.
She certainly looks like she's feeling good. She's got a strong kick that's high on the water. You can see really she's maintaining a 6-feet kick. Her stroke length is still great. You notice sometimes that as you get further into the competition, further into the race, that stroke sometimes tends to shorten up. She's keeping that length there, which is really going to play to her advantage and help extend this lead.
Van Berkom, runner-up last year. She won this event 2 years ago at 4:03.45, and right now she is far and away the one to beat. Megan Van Berkom, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, cruising to win, but look at Wisconsin in lane 3, surging towards second. Callahan Dunn coming in nicely. Van Berkom rolls with it. Then it's done at 4:08.90. What a swim for Wisconsin. Marlin comes in third for the Buckeyes in lane 7. Big swim for Megan Van Berkom, 4:06.71, your Big Ten champion.